Hmm. Can
Hi
start.
all, this is Squad. Myself Princey, along with Philip, Sneha and Satvik. We are here to present on the topic heavy metals, toxic effects of lead, cadmium and mercury.
Lead. Lead is a chemical element. It is a heavy metal that is denser than most common materials. Lead is soft and malleable and also has a relative low melting point. When freshly cut lead is silvery with a hint of blue, tarnishes to a dull gray color when exposed to air. Symbol Pb, atomic mass 207.2 U, atomic number 82, melting, melting point 327.5 degrees Celsius, electronic configuration Xe 4F14 5D10 6S 2 6P2, boiling point 1749 degrees Celsius. Example solder, water, and shower pipe, ball bearings, radiation, heating, and gasoline.
Toxic effects of lead. Lead is used in paints and pesticides. Lead is one out of four metals that have the most damaging effects on human health. It can enter the human body through uptake of food, water, and air. Food such as fruits, vegetables, meat, grains, seafood, soft drinks and wines may contain significant amount of lead. Cigarette smoke also contains small amount of lead. Lead can enter water through corrosion of pipe. This is more likely to happen when the water is slightly acidic. That's why the public water treatment system are now required to carry out pH adjustment in water that will serve drinking process.
Lead can cause several unwanted effects, such as disruption of the biosynthesis of hemoglobin and anemia, a rise in blood pressure, kidney damage, miscarriages in septal abortions, disruption of nervous systems, brain damage, declined fertility of men through sperm damage, diminished learning abilities of children, behavioral disruptions of children, such as aggression, impulsive behavior, and hyperactivity. Lead can enter a fetus through the placenta of the mother. Because of this, it can cause serious damage to the nervous system and the brain of unborn children.
Environmental effects of lead. Not only leaded gasoline causes lead concentrations in the environment to rise. Other human activities such as fuel combustion, industrial processes, and solid waste combustion. Lead can enter with water and soils through corrosion of leaded pipelines in a water transporting system and through corrosion of leaded paints. It can be broken down. It can only converted to other forms. These will experience health effects from lead poisoning. Lead accumulates in the bodies of water organisms and soil organisms. Health effects on shellfish can take place even when only very small concentrations of lead are present. Body functions of phytoplankton can be disturbed when lead interferes. Phytoplankton is an important source of oxygen production in seas, and many larger sea animals eat it. That is why we now begin to wonder whether lead pollution can influence global balances. Soil functions are disturbed by lead intervention, especially near highways and farmlands, where extreme concentrations may be present.
Lead is particularly dangerous chemical as it can accumulate in individual organisms but also in entire food chains. Lead poisoning. Lead poisoning usually occurs over a period of months or years. It can cause severe mental and physical impairment. Young children are most vulnerable. Children get Children get lead in their bodies by putting the lead containing objects in their mouth. Touching the lead and then putting their fingers in their mouth may also poison them. Lead is more harmful to children because their brains are the nervous system are still developing. Lead poisoning can be treated, but any damage caused cannot be reversed. Symptoms of lead poisoning are varied. They may affect many parts of the body. Most of the time, lead poisoning builds up slowly. It follows repeated exposures to small quantity of lead. Signs of repeated lead exposure includes abdominal pain, abdominal cramp, aggressive behavior, constipation, sleeping problem, headache, irritability, loss of developmental skills in children, loss of appetite, etc.
Since a child's brain is still developing, lead can lead to intellectual disability. Symptoms may include behavior problems, low IQ, poor grades at school, problems with hearing, short and long term learning difficulties, growth delay. A high toxic dose of lead poisoning may result in emergency symptoms. These include severe abdominal pain and cramping, vomiting, muscle weakness, stumbling when walking, etc. Lead poisoning occurs when lead is ingested. Breathing in dust that contains lead can also cause it. You cannot smell or taste lead, and it's not visible to the naked eye. Lead used to be common in house paint and gasoline. These products are not produced with lead any longer. However, lead is still present everywhere. It's especially found in old houses. Some sources of lead include house paint made before 1978, toys and household items painted before 19, bullets, curtain weights, and fishing sinkers made of lead, pipes and sink faucets, which can contaminate drinking water, soil polluted by car exhaust or chipping house paint, paint sets and art supplies, jewelry, pottery, and lead figures, storage batteries, kajal, and some traditional ethnic medicines.
Mercury. Mercury is a chemical element with the symbol Hg. It is commonly known as quicksilver and was formerly named hydrargyrium, symbol Hg. Melting point minus 38.83 degrees Celsius. Boiling point 356.7 degrees Celsius. Atomic number 80. Atomic mass 200.59 U. Electronic configuration Xe4F14 5D106S2.
Toxic effects of mercury. Mercury is a neurotoxin. Neurotoxin, a substance that is known or suspected to be poisonous to nerve tissue. Humans are mainly exposed by inhaling vapors. These are absorbed into the body via the lungs and move easily from the bloodstream into the brain. However, when elemental mercury is ingested, little is absorbed into the body. The inhalation of elementary mercury vapor can cause neurological and behavioral disorders such as tremors, emotional instability, insomnia, memory loss, neuromuscular changes, and headaches. They can also harm the kidneys and thyroid. High exposures have also led to deaths. However, there is no evidence at present that elemental mercury causes cancers in humans, and it has been classified by IARC into group 3, unclassifiable as to carcinogenicity in humans, a critical effects on which risk assessment could be based is therefore the neurotoxic effects. For example, the induction of tremor, the effects on the kidneys should be considered. They are the key endpoint in exposure to inorganic mercury compounds. The effects may well be reversible, but as the exposure to the general pollution tends to be continuous, the effect may still be relevant.
How are we exposed to mercury? The main source of elemental mercury vapor is dental amalgam. Diet, particularly fish, is generally the main source of both inorganic and organic mercury. Methyl mercury is by far the most common organic form and is especially found in fish and other seafood. For, for some people, the workplace may also be an important source of exposure. Example include um, chloroalkali plant, mercury mines, thermometer factories, refiners, and dental clinics, as well as the mining and manufacturing of gold extract with mercury. People can also receive extra doses in specific situations, such as when a mercury compounds are used in a skin whitening cream, soaps, and traditional medicine. Exposure may also arise from localized pollution through air and water, and from a mercury spills at home or work. Prevention. Mercury poisoning can be prevented or minimized by eliminating or reducing exposure to mercury and mercury compounds. To that end, many government and private groups have made efforts to heavily regulate the use of mercury or to issue advisory about the use of mercury.
Cadmium. Cadmium is a chemical element. This soft silvery white metal is chemically similar to the two other stable metals. In group 12, zinc and mercury, symbol 3D, electron configuration Kr 4d10 2, atomic mass 112.411 U, atomic number 48, melting point 328 321.1 degrees Celsius.
Cadmium toxicity occurs when a person breathes in a high level of cadmium from the air or eats food or drinks water containing high level of cadmium. Cadmium is a naturally occurring metal. It is usually present in the environment as a mineral combined with other elements like oxygen, chlorine, or sulfur. Either short term or long term exposure to cadmium can cause serious health problems. Causes. Many cadmium used is a byproduct of the production of metals like zinc, lead, and copper. It is also found in the following products: cigarettes, batteries, pigments, metal coatings, plastics, some metal alloys, and fertilizers.
Bright red, yellow, orange pigment in some pottery or glassware paint. When cadmium enters the air, it binds to small particles. It falls to the ground or into a water in a rain or snow and may contaminate fish, plants, and animal. Improper waste disposal and spills at hazardous waste site may cause cadmium to leak into neighbor water and soil. Having skin contact with cadmium is not known to cause a health problem, but the following exposures to cadmium can cause a severe health problem. Breathing air that contains high levels of cadmium. Eating foods contaminated with high levels of cadmium, such as shellfish, liver, kidney, potatoes, and leafy vegetables. Drinking water contaminated with cadmium. Breathing in cigarette Breathing in cigarette smokes, which doubles the average daily intake of cadmium. Risk factor. Anyone can develop a cadmium. Anyone can develop cadmium toxicity as a result of cadmium exposure. Factors that increase your change of being exposed to cadmium include smoking and living nearby a hazardous waste site or industrial factories that release cadmium into the air. Working in the metal smelting and refining plant. Working in a plant that produce cadmium products such as batteries, coatings, plastics and pigment. Having a nutritional deficiency in calcium, iron, protein, and zinc.
Symptoms: eating food or drinking water contaminated with high levels of calcium, cadmium can result in nausea and vomiting, stomach cramps, diarrhea, kidney damage, fragile bones, death. Breathing in cadmium can result in flu-like symptoms such as body aches, chills, weakness, vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal pain, shortness of breath.
Prevention. Identify potential sources of cadmium in and around your home, at work, and where your children play. If you maintain a vegetable garden, consider having fertilizers tested for cadmium. Some fertilizers have been found to be high in cadmium, which may then concentrate in your vegetables. Avoid any use of cadmium containing fungicides near your vegetable gardens. Eat a balanced diet that provides enough cadmium, iron, protein, and zinc. Take inventory of and properly dispose cadmium containing. Keep them out of the reach of children. When in doubt, check the label for cadmium or call the manufacturer to find out if the product contains cadmium. Keep nickel cadmium batteries out of the reach of small children. Find out how to properly dispose of these batteries from your local waste disposal office. If you have a water well, have your well tested for cadmium. If cadmium is present in water well, consider using bottled water for drinking or install a water that removes cadmium and other metals from drinking water. If you work around cadmium, talk to your occupational health and safety officer to find out if you could be bringing cadmium home. Skin, hair, tools, objects. Do not allow young children to play in or around hazardous waste sites.
Thank you.
You.
Sneha, stop பண்ணிக்கலாம் Sneha. We can go another. Sneha,